What is going on, y'all? Perspectives giofvcks here, and in this video, disclaimer: I'm fully vaccinated. Moderna gang. I have the Moderna vaccine. I received both vaccine shots. All right. I support the vaccine. I also wear my mask when I'm around people inside and outside. And I also pretty much practice my own version of social quarantining and social distancing. However, I totally understand why people don't want to get vaccinated, why people, are making those decisions for themselves. People have every right to not get vaccinated. People have every right to feel vaccine hesitancy. And in this video, I want to discuss the difference between people being anti-vaccine and having vaccine hesitancy. I feel like a lot of times when these conversations come up, people like to put people who have vaccine hesitancy and people who are anti-vax in the same category when they are not the same groups of people, and it's not the same thing. Someone having a hesitancy to getting vaccinated is not somebody who's anti-vax, right? So information about vaccine hesitancy will be in the description box below. And let's talk about it. So when you look at the history of the United States of America, of European countries, throughout the course of time, Black and brown, indigenous, people of color bodies have been abused, have been tortured, have been violated, okay, have been disrespected, have been just horrible things have happened within the medical system, within the healthcare system, within science, when it comes to Black, brown, indigenous, people of color bodies, lower income, working class, working poor bodies, people who didn't have access to resources and wealth and money and assets. People that have been viewed as being the bottom, if you will, of society, if we're going to look at it from a hierarchy. Historically, we have seen the medical industry, the healthcare industry, science, disrespect, mutilate, abuse, torture, disregard Black and brown, indigenous people, people of color bodies, okay? Poor, working class bodies. So people have that hesitancy. I see a lot of Black folks and people of color use the Tuskegee experiment as their justification for them having vaccine hesitancy, which they have every right to, and that is historical evidence. But I want to make sure that when we talk about the Tuskegee experiment, we're talking about it with truths and facts, and we're not spreading additional misinformation. So here's the thing about the Tuskegee experiment. This happened in the South, down South, the American South, and this was in the 1930s. And what basically took place was people had syphilis. They were told that they were going to be receiving treatment for the syphilis. And come to find out, they weren't receiving any treatment. They were basically just lied to about the treatment that they would be receiving. And the experiment was to basically see how syphilis runs through its course inside of a human body. So in many cases, the Black people that were supposedly supposed to be getting treatment for their syphilis were not receiving treatment at all, just receiving placebos, if you will. And the scientists, the medical establishment at the time, were literally just watching these Black bodies, these Black people, suffer through syphilis and watching how syphilis attacked their bodies, how it manifested physically and mentally, what were the psychological ramifications, what were the physical ramifications, and they just sat there and watched them suffer and die and go without treatment. They were never receiving treatment for the actual syphilis, even though that's what they were told. So when people want to use that as a reason for why they have vaccine hesitancy, they have every right to, but the premise of their argument for using that experiment that happened in the 30s, 1937 Tuskegee experiment with the syphilis situation, the premise is wrong, because the difference with COVID-19 is that we're actually giving you treatment. We're giving you a vaccine to protect you from potentially contracting COVID-19. And if you do contract COVID-19 with the vaccine, the chances of you going to the hospital and needing to be intubated, aka being put on a ventilator, is slim to none. The chances of you going to the emergency room because you can't breathe is slim to none if you're vaccinated. And so the whole argument of, well, I'm anti-vax or I have vaccine hesitancy because of what happened to the Tuskegee. And it's like, but in the Tuskegee experiment, they lied and told them that they were giving them treatment, and they weren't. In this situation, they're actually giving you treatment. They're actually giving you a vaccine. It's free and accessible to everyone, regardless if you have health insurance coverage or not. At least in the United States of America, with the 3 Ks, it's free and accessible to everyone. And I also want to bring this up, and I made a video discussing this. I'm from Flint, Michigan. Flint, Michigan is predominantly African American, Hispanic, Latino, people of color, Black people, brown people, working class, working poor, blue collar community. And when the vaccine first rolled out for people to start getting it, and remember we had 1A, 1B, we had different phases of how they were rolling out the vaccine. Child, on the north side of Flint, which is, mind you, Flint as a whole is predominantly Black, African American, Hispanic, Latino, right? But when you get to the north side, it's over 80, 90% Black. When you get to the east side, it's over 50% Black, Hispanic, Latino. When they first rolled out the vaccine and they were going through their phases of which demographics would be able to get their dose first, child, and we were having vaccine clinics, and I know I'm not the only one that can relate to this. I'm sure other people witnessed and saw this in their own cities and communities, but they would have the vaccine clinic on the north side of Flint, and most of the people that would be there were white. You had people coming from Grand Blanc, Flushing, Davison, Montrose, Clio, Otisville, Mount Morris, Swartz Creek. These people living in the suburbs, mostly white folks with money on top of that, coming to the north side and the east side of Flint to get the vaccine. That was all I needed to know in my own mind for myself. Like, yeah, this is serious, because why would they be coming into our communities, the communities that they claimed are dangerous and violent, and oh my God, yet they were tracking 2030. You had people that didn't even live in the county. They not even from Genesee County. You had people from Livingston County, Shiawassee County, Lapeer County, just traveling to the north side of Flint to get shots, and it was predominantly white people and people that don't even live on that side of the area getting it. Another reason, so that was enough for me to realize, okay, let me get this vaccine and let me make sure that I protect my family and my friends and my community if I can with this vaccine, because why else are other people coming into our communities, once again taking up our resources, our vaccine resources, yet any other time they don't want shit to do with the north side of Flint, the east side of Flint. That was enough for me to realize, yes. And then also science, again, I do believe in science. I do believe in healthcare, but I also recognize the history. and the current climate. So again, I get why people don't want to get the vaccine. And then not to mention, depending on your health status, what is your health status as a person? The vaccine may have some adverse side effects for you. However, over a million people, over 250 million people have received the vaccine. And information will be in the description box below to back up what I'm saying, back up facts and data and information. But as always, I always recommend you do your own investigation, you do your own research, critically think. But yeah, over 250 million people have received the vaccine, and guess what? We're still alive. You know, I got the second dose of the Moderna vaccine at the end of April. It was like April 22nd, 2021. It is now September 18th, 2021. I'm still here, almost 5 months later. And I'm alive and I'm making this video. You feel me? So that's another thing, you know, it's going to make you die. It's going to make you impotent. It's going to turn you into zombies. It's all this shit. And then there's so many of us that have received the vaccine, and guess what? Got all my limbs, still alive, still functioning, still here. Okay? My grandmother, she got her second dose of the Pfizer vaccine in March. She's still here. She's 76 and a half, almost 77. She's still here. Okay? My mother, who has MS, multiple sclerosis, she's received her third shot, her booster shot from Moderna. And she received that 2.5 weeks ago. She's still here. So she's got 3 shots. My granny, I'm getting her scheduled for her Pfizer booster. I will be getting a booster. You know, if you don't know about me, I have Graves' disease. It's an autoimmune disease, right? So I'm doing what I have to do to protect myself and to protect my family. I look out for friends and community and share information and resources. And I'm always sharing that. And again, if you have vaccine hesitancy, I totally respect and understand that. There's plenty of information, data, facts, research out there. I try to post it in my description box below. But I strongly, Umar Johnson style, you know, we have to say it 3 times, make it magical. Strongly recommend that you do your own research, investigate, critically think, okay? And stop coming up with, oh, I have, it's been over a year, y'all, and the information has been out there. So stop also using that as an excuse when you're not actually researching, okay? And again, if you don't want to get the vaccine, at least wear the mask. Wear the mask inside and outside when you are around a bunch of people, especially, you know, if you can't social distance, put your mask on. I wear my mask and I'm fully vaccinated, and I still wear my mask because at the end of the day, so many of us have not gotten vaccinated, will not get vaccinated, and not to mention, it cuts down on other things besides COVID. It cuts down on the flu because we're not all sitting up here breathing in the same damn air and spreading that nastiness, that bacteria, those infections, them viruses around. So it's an added layer of protection, not just for COVID-19, but for other things. You know, so hey, I'm gonna continue wearing mine personally. And then if you don't, you know, if you're anti-mask, because I know a lot of you are anti-mask as well, consider getting tested on a weekly basis for the COVID-19 virus. That way, you know, going in, I don't have it, I'm negative for it. Every week, you can check that, but a lot of y'all don't even want to get tested. So to me, it's just kind of coming down to a point of you got people that don't want to get tested on a weekly or regular basis. You got people that don't want to wear their mask. You have people that don't want to get vaccinated. We have a lot of things going on. We have people saying that they're going, then we also have people that have vaccine hesitancy, which again, people have every right. And at the end of the day, you know me, I can honestly say this, I'm truly pro-choice. I'm pro-choice all the way. Because at the end of the day, while I don't agree with what you're doing, it's still your body. It's still your body. Your body, your choice, autonomy. I believe in that. But I'm about to go there, right? If it's my body, my choice when it comes to vaccines, it's my body, my choice when it comes to wearing a mask, it's my body, my choice when it comes to getting weekly or regularly scheduled COVID-19 testing, then why is it an issue when people want to get abortions? When people want to have autonomy over reproductive rights? It's my body, my choice for everything else, but then you're going to tell somebody who has a vagina and ovaries that can potentially become impregnated that they can't have an abortion, but yet you want to have a complete, bitch fit because somebody's telling you to wear a mask. Again, you have to check your own hypocrisies. That's all I'm saying. Check your own bullshit. Because at this day and age, it's getting very, 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 very old. Okay? And you can't be screaming and hollering, my body, my choice, when it's convenient for you. That's all I'm going to say. See, I'm able to understand that, hey, if you don't want to wear a mask, you don't have to wear a mask. I'm going to wear mines, though. If you don't want to get vaccinated, you don't have to get vaccinated. But I'm going to be vaccinated. I can understand and respect that. But then when it comes to my life, I'm not allowed to get a abortion. I'm not allowed to want condoms and birth control and reproductive rights and reproductive justice. But you can sit up and impose your religious beliefs on me. But I can't. Again, check your mess. That's all I'm saying. Like a lot of us, if you gonna stand 10 toes down on your shit, then stand 10 toes down. Don't sit up here and cherry pick when it's my body, my choice, when it's about freedoms, when it's about rights. But then when it comes to other people, actually, no, that's not how it works. Anyways, information on the COVID-19 vaccine, information on getting COVID-19 testing, information on wearing your mask, information on abortion and reproductive rights and birth control. All of that will be in the description box below. At the end of the day, and information on the Tuskegee experiment where they're discussing how people did not receive the proper treatment because they had treatment for syphilis then, and they didn't even give these people treatment. That was the lie. That was the front. That was the medical mistrust. The medical mistrust and the historical evidence of the medical mistrust when it comes to black and brown, people of color, indigenous bodies, working class, working poor bodies. That information will be in the description box below. But yeah, the research is there, the information is there, and people have the right to do what they want ultimately. And I'm out.